Hi there, today we're going to make a picture inspired by the artist Claude Monet, who is an impressionist painter, and we're going to do a take on his lily pad picture. We're just doing a small version, kind of zoomed in on one lily pad. So the first thing we're going to do is the drawing part of it. So you just need to get a small white piece of paper. This is just a 9x6, so it's pretty little, and just a pencil to start with. I'm going to do a Sharpie so that you can see a little bit better. We're going to start with an oval that takes up a good bit of this space. I'm not going to close mine in all the way because I need to keep a little hole here for making the leaf part. So the next thing we're going to do is put a tiny little dot in the center. And then with your pencil, you can erase a little place here on along the bottom somewhere. Just about an inch is fine. And then we're going to curve that in right here on both sides. And we're going to connect it to that dot. Just like that. Kind of looks like a Pac-Man. Then we're going to start our flower for the lily pad, and we're going to do a teardrop shape right here above center, like this, and make it pretty big. So you can see it's a pretty big petal here. Okay. Once you get your teardrop shape or water drop shape, then I'm going to have you do 2 upside down V's on either side, so it kind of looks like a crown. And from the side over here, we're going to curve it down and connect it to the bottom of this petal. Okay. I'm going to do the same over here on this side. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can pause the video. Okay, once you get your 3 petals, we're going to add 1 more layer on each side. So I'm going to do another upside down V. And again, I'm just going to connect it to these other petals here. Just curve it around and connect. Curve and connect. Okay. Now we're going to go into the spaces between the top of the petals. And we're just going to add another layer into each one of those little sections. This is kind of the back side of the flower. Okay, and then I'm going to add one last one right here between these 2. Okay, and then I've got my flower and my lily pad all ready for paint. And I'm doing a regular painting with tempera paint. If you don't have tempera paint, you could do this with watercolor or marker, whatever supplies you've got ready. If you're doing paint, I want you to try to do this without water. So what we'll do is we'll just add a little drop of paint. And we're just going to pat that out all the way around. This is going to be for the water, so I'm just using blue. This is one of my favorite artists. I love how he captures the colors and light, and he would paint at different times of the day, even in the same spots, and get totally different pictures. And so we're just going to do that. We're going to kind of spread this color around. I'm not filling in completely because I'm going to add different layers of different colors. So I'm not even rinsing my brush. It's just wiped off just a little bit. And I'm going to add my next color. I'm going to do green. And notice I'm just adding a little touch. I'm not adding very much, because I want to do different layers of different colors, and I'm going to those empty spots. white that out so I get most of the paint off. And then I'm going to start with purple. I'm going to drip this on the brush because I think this is a little runny. Yeah, okay. So again, just kind of putting it in empty spots. And by the time I finish all of my layering, I shouldn't have any white left. Okay. So in my water, I'm going to do some blues, greens, purples. I'm going to add even just a little bit of pink because I want it to look like the water is reflecting a little bit of the pink that will be in my flower later. This is just a different blue, a little lighter. And actually, I think I'm going to put that blue and white at the same time. So this is a fun way to kind of play with colors and see what happens when you blend them while they're wet. Just a little bit more of that. So my white spots are starting to fill up pretty good. Okay. I'm going to pause this and I'll come back and we'll start the lily pad. Starting on the lily pad, I've got two different greens and a white and just maybe a touch of blue in there. I'm just going to wipe my brush off. We call these messy mats in the classroom. That way we don't waste lots of paper. But when we do our paintings, we have a spot to get rid of paint without going through lots of tissue and paper. So again, just spreading little taps, different directions. Okay, and then I'm going to take my, actually I think I'm going to do blue next. So just a little bit of blue in there. And then I'll kind of start blending with that green. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the lighter green here and kind of try to fill in a little bit. Let me put just a little bit of white with that too. And here at school, we're just going to be doing this in layers, so, or in sections. So that first day, we're just drawing the lily pads with as a directed drawing. And then the second day, we'll do the lily pad and the background, and then we'll probably need a third day on this one. It takes quite a bit longer to do this in class than it does as at-home students because you've got so many kids that you're working with and helping. So it does take a little bit longer for us here at school to get through our lessons. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I see lots of good brush strokes. It's filled in pretty well, and I'm going to wipe my brush just a little bit better this time because I am moving to some warm colors. So for my flower, we're gonna do some pink to start with. I'm just going to have to work a little bit more. On this last part, just pick a couple colors that you want on your flower. A bright color against the green would be really good. So like on mine, I'm using the orange and pink and a little bit of white. I can't wait to see how your Monet lily pads turn out. They're going to be super fun.